Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back with another video for you guys for the year 2018. Happy New Year! This is going to be my very first makeup tutorial video in this new year. I was super sick when the new year came in. I just was not going to subject you guys to that while I was sick. So I'm feeling much better now. I'm still a little like, but I'm feeling much better. I'm able to film, so excuse me if at all I seem kind of like nasally or anything, but that's just kind of the recovery process. The very first palette that I purchased from Shop Hush was the Aphrodite palette from Bad Habit, and I'm going to have that linked up above so you guys can see my initial reaction and review of that palette, as well as the two makeup looks that I've done since then with that palette. I have used that palette plenty of times off camera. It's one of my favorite palettes that I own, and I just love it. I love the quality of it, and I paid like, what, $10, $12 for it? This palette is the Aura palette from Bad Habit. This palette is actually another dupe palette. I think that right now Bad Habit makes predominantly dupe palettes. I'm hoping that as they're getting more attention, they decide to kind of branch out and create their own, original ideas, because they have such fantastic formulas and the palettes are so great, and I think that they could really take the makeup industry by storm if they release their own versions of, or their own concepts rather. Instead of just dupes. I think that they would just completely change the makeup game. So the Aura palette from Bad Habit is meant to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette dupe. I do not have the Prism palette to compare, but I will of course upload pictures of both here and here so that you guys can kind of see what I mean. And we're going to go in and we're going to go through and just talk about it and swatch it. So the packaging on this is a little bit different from the Aphrodite palette. For one, it's more colorful. I do feel like the other packaging in the Aphrodite palette is very nice, but this one just feels a little bit more expensive, even though it is still very affordable. It does of course list all the ingredients on the back, but it just feels really expensive. It's not velvety or the fabric that you have, like the kind of faux suede fabric that you have on the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, but it's just so beautiful. It looks like a nice piece of artwork, and it's just so sleek, and I really enjoy it. I will say that I am kind of getting some like fingerprints on it, but it's not like anything too bad that you're going to worry about, because you're going to be using this with you're going to be putting your makeup on. You're not going to care too much about it. Just like with the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, yes, it does kind of suck that like they can get dirty, but at the same time you're using them to put on makeup, so it's bound to happen. You're bound to get something on the palettes that you use. So I don't view that as a negative. This is what the palette looks like. As you can see, it looks super beautiful right off the bat, and it is very similar to the shades of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. They have a really beautiful black in here that almost looks it kind of looks more like a charcoal gray than a black, because the black in the Aphrodite palette is like a true black. For right now, just for my initial reaction, I'm going to just swatch some colors that I'm really interested in seeing kind of how they appear and how they work, because I feel like sometimes some of these shades, when I swatched the Prism palette, I felt like some of them were maybe like a little bit of a hit or a miss, or it could have just been because it was a tester that had been used for a long time, because I do love Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. But I'm curious to see how they translated these shadows. I've seen other people use this in videos, but I haven't swatched them myself, so I don't know, if they're actually going to work the way that they said that they would. I'm hopeful, because I love my Aphrodite palette so much, but this does look like it's a little bit different than the Aphrodite palette, so I don't know how it's going to perform, so we're going to find out. The matte shades are harder to formulate, so I'm going to start off with those first, and we're going to see how they look. So I'm starting off with this sandy brown shade Dream State. Immediately upon dipping my finger in here, it is super creamy, and I'm very impressed. We're going to see how this swatches. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put it, I guess, on the back of my arm. We're going to see. Wow, that's really nice. That's like one stripe. It is a little powdery, I will say that. Like, I don't know if you can really see the powder, but it is a little powdery right off the bat. But that smooths out, and I don't think that it means it's going to be a bad shadow. It's super nice. It's very pigmented, as you can see. And this is just me kind of repeating with one finger over again. Whoa. That is super pigmented. This one is definitely not as powdery as the first one was, and like, that's insane. It's so nice, so pigmented. That is a beautiful color. That's going to look absolutely beautiful in the lid, in the crease. I'm so excited about that. Okay, Energy, which is this yellow shade right here. It's like a yellow chalk. Oh, okay. So it actually kind of applies a little chalky. It's a little patchy. This is the shade Ecstasy. Oh wow, so it's so pigmented. Oh my god, that is gorgeous. Whoa, wow. So I'm gonna be going in first with this shade. It is appearing a little bit lighter on camera, again like a khaki color, but I say this is much more of like a sandy brown. It is light, but it's not as light as the camera is making it appear. Try and build it up a little bit more. It just looks very similar to my skin. I want to pick up this shade right here, and we're going to go in with the shade Awakening and hope that this kind of brings in a little bit more color. So let's see. Salmon. It's a real pretty salmon. Burnt orange shade. Tap off that excess because there is, like I said, quite a bit of powder. And I'm going to just go in. So I'm really enjoying this because even though the shades are a little bit powdery, they're not blending away into nothing. They're showing up, as you guys can see, like it's showing up, it's blending, it's looking pretty. So I do enjoy the fact that they are actually like working instead of just blending away into nothing, which I think is the fear sometimes with the eyeshadows when they get really powdery, is that they won't blend. And if they do blend, they blend away and you can't really get any pigment or payoff. And especially if you're a woman of color, it can be really hard with eyeshadows because I know that there are so many eyeshadows that even for my skin tone, and I'm of a lighter skin tone, like I would put stuff on my eyes and it just wouldn't show up. And I think that that is such a disservice to so many people, and it makes me so angry when I see products like that you know are supposed to be amazing and that are supposed to be affordable, but they don't work. That's such a huge issue for me. I get so angry about it. I have so many people that I know that either don't know makeup or don't understand how makeup works for women of color that like would criticize me or say things about me having to spend more money on makeup, or talk about, oh, I wouldn't do that, she spent so, like they would just say such underhanded things, and they would, you know, relate it to something else. It would just always be an issue, and I would have to put up with people saying that. And the issue is like, it's 2018 now. I'm not putting up with that anymore. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not going to pretend like it's okay. It is such an issue as a woman of color, and I, again, am of a lighter skin tone, so it makes me angry because my sister has to go through it, my cousins, people in my family that are darker than me, my friends that are darker than me. It's such an issue that as a woman of color, more affordable products aren't formulated for us and with us in mind. And that really makes me angry because we're not all orange toned, we're not all red toned, we have neutral tones, we have yellow tones, we have golden undertones, we have so many different tones with us, or we get shadows that aren't formulated for women of color. They're not formulated to show up on our skin tone. They're formulated to show up on the palest of skin tones. And so then you still alienate people that maybe would be considered, you know, not people of color, but they have deeper skin, and it's, you know what I mean? You just alienate so many people for that. And it becomes an issue. There are literally so many women in England that I've watched on YouTube talk about how it wasn't until recently that they were able to really buy more affordable products where they were, because most of the products just didn't work for them. And it was such a huge deal for me to find products, because now brands like Bad Habit are coming out and they're releasing these products that are affordable, that can work on us. But there's been it's just such a struggle. Like when my mom was younger and my aunts, like they didn't have as many options as I do now. And I didn't have as many options when I first started wearing makeup as I do right now. People say stuff like, you know, you could just pay this, like you just want to spend money on this expensive product, you're just wasting your money. Like, no, like it works for you and your skin tone, and it works for you and people that look like you, but what do they do to support people that look like me? I didn't mean to go into an entire rant, but I think it's important to say something. Like, I hear so many people going on and on about, you know, I've literally been blending at this eye for 20 minutes. I just think that sometimes, you know, you hear people and they wanna go on and go off, and they want to talk about, you know, they want to talk about people, and they really want to talk about women of color, and they want to talk about how they're going to spend all this money on makeup, like, and they don't understand, like, when you're a Black woman, you have to support brands that support you. You have to support brands that do something for you, because if you don't, then they assume that we're silenced, and it's just another way for people to silence us. And I know that I have people that are, you know, not just Black that watch me, and I love and appreciate all of you, and I think we're all beautiful and we all need to support each other. But I think that can't happen if we can't have an open conversation, an open forum, and be honest about the fact that, like, in our community, we do not have enough, there's not enough representation. I'm a woman of color. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm very proud of it. My mom taught me from a very young age to always wear pride in who I am and what I am, and to never disguise it and to never hide it, and that I should always, you know, speak out. She taught me at a very young age that I should be treated the very best, just as an equally to everybody else. I should always view myself as an equal and treat other people that way and treat myself that way, and I want that. I think I deserve to be treated that way. So I'm going to speak out, and, you know, if it offends people that I'm saying that Black people deserve to have the same amount of representation in the makeup world as other people do, then I don't know where you're watching my videos anyway. I just want to shout out to my Black Girl Magic for blending that shadow. Just praise. We're gonna, let me see. Ooh, see, like, that's what I mean. It's so vibrant and pretty. Literally all over my face. Okay, so that kind of got rid of the excess, but not all of it. So I'm just I put some Sasha Buttercup powder underneath. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was not prepared for the fallout on this palette, obviously. Like, I wasn't. It's still nice. I need to fix that. I'm gonna have to blend that out a little bit. It's still nice, but it's like, I need it to calm down. Take Soul, and I'm just going to put that right in the center. Alright, so now we're just going to go in again with that smaller blending brush, and we're going to take a little bit more of that shade Vibe. I'm going to put that on the outer corner here, and I'm going to keep it low, and we're going to blend this a little bit more. And like I said, there is quite a bit of fallout. I'm not gonna lie, I see some fallout right in this area. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I definitely can. That's okay, because we put the powder there, and we can just dust that away. Some liner and false lashes, and then I will be right back. Okay, we're going to take the shade Mystique, again, this orangey shade, the burnt orange one, and we're just going to, with the smudger brush, smudge it out along the lower lash line. This shade Phenomenon, which is this really pretty white golden shade. Okay, so I just took that shade Soul and I just popped it underneath my brow bone. Okay, and that is the completed look with this eyeshadow palette. My final thoughts are that I actually do really like this palette. I think it's really beautiful, and I think that at the price point at $12, it's super worth your money. Obviously, the green shade, as beautiful as it is, it does have fallout, and I did have issues with it falling on my face, but now my face is fine, it's set, everything's good. I'm not having any issues, and I don't feel like it's too problematic. I think you just have to be aware that if you're using a shade like that, you need to do your face and your foundation and everything last, because you can risk getting fallout. It's a super pigmented shadow. It's a super deeply pigmented dark shade. It's just so nice. I never do, like, I just don't typically wear this eyeshadow look. I've never done this eyeshadow look before, and I'm in love with it. I think it's so pretty, and it just looks really, really nice. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Also, make sure to go over and check out my video that I did of the Aphrodite palette, because I think that if you're interested in Shop Hush and you want to know kind of more about their products, that's a really great video to check out. I also will link the other videos that I did with that palette, so you guys can kind of see a little bit of everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a very, very happy new year. It was 2018. 2017 could have clocked out early, honestly. I was so done with 2017. But 2018 is here, and we are going to take this world by storm. I am so happy. I'm so proud of just all that we're going to accomplish. I'm so excited. I just feel so good about this year. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I do an upload, and stick around because we have really, really amazing things coming your way this year. Alright guys, thank you so much. Bye my loves.